What's going on, everybody? This is the Heavy on Hoops WNBA basketball channel. Go ahead, like and subscribe as we get back into it. And I'm not about to talk about the CBA talks right now. To me, it's kind of annoying to talk about, but at some point I'm gonna have to make a video on it. It does not look particularly good right now, so who knows if there's gonna be another season or not. But until then, I'm gonna keep contributing to that WNBA vault of information that we're building up. So let's go ahead and get to it. Like and subscribe, y'all. Let's go.
Chennedy Carter crossover to the rim.
With the fourth pick in the 2020 WNBA draft, the Atlanta Dream select Chennedy Carter from Texas A&M.
This video, I want to focus on a player that is not in the WNBA right now, actually, who I believe should be and probably will be again at some point in time. That player being Chennedy Carter, former Chicago Sky player, last played in the WNBA in 2024, where she basically had a career year, averaged 17 points per game, 3 assists on 49% shooter from the guard position. Those are some pretty elite numbers. So for a team like the Chicago Sky that needed exactly what she brought to the table and let her go, why did they let her go? It's wild when you think about it, because the Chicago Sky ended up being the worst team in the WNBA last year in 2025 without her. So let's go ahead and dive into it, guys. First, again, she was drafted by the Atlanta Dream and with the number 4 pick, and she had a pretty good year with the Atlanta Dream and was even in the running for Rookie of the Year until she kind of got hurt towards the end of her time there in Atlanta. But she did end up getting into a bit of trouble and got suspended by the team, not by the league. She got suspended by her team. Speculation said that she almost got into a fight with another teammate and there was conduct that was detrimental to the team, so they essentially sent her away. Next season, Los Angeles Sparks. She was there, and by the end of the season, she was in Derek Fisher's doghouse. Again, conduct detrimental to the team. The team did not bring her back. Then she ends up with the Chicago Sky. All the opportunity in the world. She gets to play next to one of the future faces of the WNBA, and Angel Reese, so she gets to bask in that light and get exposure that she never really had before. So she gets there, she balls out, and she made one of the cardinal mistakes that you could possibly make, and she messed up and she touched the wrong one. She dropped Fine China. She knocked it over, and she knocked it over on purpose and was non-apologetic about it. And that Fine China I'm talking about is Caitlin Clark. You touched the wrong one, Kennedy. You touched the wrong one, because they came for your head after that. And a lot of the public mass never forgave you. And so that was not necessarily what just tipped things over the edge, but it kind of fueled a lot of thought, especially with all the speculation that she had around her up to this point in her career. A player that was averaging 17 points per game with the Chicago Sky in the year, but when she started with the Chicago Sky, she averaged like 20 points per game. Again, which really puts her kind of in all-star category. So what led to her being out of the league? And honestly, I think it was just nothing but her pure attitude, the perceived attitude. I don't particularly know her, but when we look at her press conference after she knocked over Caitlin Clark, she kind of doubled down, on what she did.
I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
Non-apologetic. Even her coach came out and kind of in disagreement with her behavior. And then also there was some time, I think X was still Twitter at this point, where she kind of came out and said that, you know what, you guys can hate me and I love the hate. And honestly, I like the hate more than I like love. And it's nothing wrong with making good use of critique. I get what she's going at, your haters, your motivators. But the way that you word things sometimes, it doesn't sound like somebody that together. They wouldn't word it like that. A professional maybe should not word certain things in a certain way when your reputation is already questionable. So whoever's on her team, PR person or whoever, that's something that they should have worked with her on, because these are the things that contributed to her no longer being in the league. It wasn't a talent thing. She showed from day one that she could play at the WNBA level. And honestly, I would even put her in the echelon of guards, like talent-wise, of like Kelsey Plum, Arika Ogunbowale. She's up there with all of them. But something I do have to touch on them again. This could even go towards the attitude thing and awareness. Those other players do a lot of other things on the court that she does not as well. She's a hired gun, and there's nothing wrong with being a hired gun, but she's not the most engaged defensive player all the time. If she's not like maybe guarding the center point on the offense, if her person's not a threat, she's kind of slacking off. She's not exactly a pass first guard. She did average 3 assists, which is solid, but if you're looking for a pass first guard, she's not that. She's looking to get buckets, and there's nothing wrong with that because that's what she does very well, and that should be a focus of her game. Also, she's not really much of a shooter. When she puts the ball on the floor and she can get to the basket going downhill, she was one of the best in the WNBA at that. But if she don't have the ball in her hands and she's not controlling the offense, she's kind of a non-factor. But you look at players like Kelsey Plum, off the ball, she's a menace. Kelsey Mitchell, she's a supreme shot maker. Arika Ogunbowale, she does other things, even like playmaking. Even though she gets buckets too, she can playmake pretty well, you know, at her position. Even in Natasha Cloud, where she may not be an all-star player, but her leadership ability, her ability to make other players around her better. And I can't necessarily say that Chennedy Carter did that. And when you don't show those intangibles and you have this perception about you that says that, hey, I'm not all the way together and I have a bad attitude, you get a stigma where people don't want to mess with you. That's why she spent 2025 in China and not in the WNBA. And now she tore it up in China. You know, she was averaging like 30 a game over there, but the talent pool's not the same. Let's keep it above. There's probably a lot of players that they go over to these other countries and they kill it. But Chennedy Carter should be here in the WNBA. Now, do I think she has a chance on getting back into the league? Yes, but she has to make them want her. She has to present herself in a way where it's like the WNBA has to adjust for her to come back, because I personally think talent-wise, she could come back in right now and be a top 30 player in the WNBA. After not even playing in the league for a year, she could come back in and slide in at a top 30 player. I personally think the perfect position for her, especially coming back, is probably something like a Super 6 woman on a vet squad, because I think young teams like the Chicago Sky, they're probably looking at personnel and thinking like, hey, who do we want some of our younger players looking to for guidance and advice and leadership? And you don't think of Chennedy Carter when you think of these things. That's something that she has to really think about. You know, she's not a baby in the WNBA or as a professional anymore. So you have to understand that a lot of these organizations, they're looking to build culture. They'll take somebody that's less talented if they fit into their system and they're not a distraction. I think personally, she would fit in good with a team like the Minnesota Lynx. I think the Minnesota Lynx may have won a championship if they had a Chennedy Carter coming off their bench, where it's like, depending on Collier to make so many plays, it can be difficult. They needed a player like her coming off their bench that could create and give them a shot in the arm. I would have honestly said a team like the Las Vegas Aces, but they won it. They won the title without her. I wouldn't touch it now. They picked up Jewel Lloyd, so they kind of got their hired gun that they could bring in off the bench and provide that scoring. If I could pick a perfect team, hey, I would honestly say a team like the Lynx will be perfect for her. You guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Should Chennedy Carter be in the WNBA? Honestly, do you think she's going to get back in the WNBA? Anyway, guys, go ahead and drop your comments at the bottom, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.
How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people done doubted? A lot. Left you out.